So welcome to Bunny's Designs. This is a live show recorded for Ustream.tv and also for YouTube for people to watch at their leisure. I've gone back to my Peerless colours, and normally I mix and match things up, but because I wasn't very well, I started quite a bright colour, but I wanted to use them like a watercolour. And so I used them with the Derwent #1 watercolour brush because it's the smallest one and it gives out the least amount of water. And I find that really good, but it gives just enough. So you want the tiniest amount, almost like a pinprick. And you can maneuver it around to give a watercolour effect. So yesterday I managed to do all this and play with some very vibrant colours just with the Peerless. I then finished off the one I did last week, and I missed one or two bits out, and I finished things off. And again, there's a watercolour effect with a Peerless, very very vibrant watercolour. And I thought, well, I might as well do the opposite page because it happened to be open, because I love the colours on the dragonfly. So I thought, oh, I'll use the same colours and also on the butterflies at the top. But I managed to get a watercolour effect. And so I thought, oh, I quite like that. And this beautiful colour here is a very dark colour. I think that's yellow ochre. But I got the palest colours. So I thought, oh, I'm really, really enjoying this. And I had flu, so I wasn't very well. And I've always looked at this page thinking, yes, it's got to be kind of vibrant, hydrous colours. But then the other colours are playing about. And I wasn't really thinking about colours. And sometimes if you're not well, you kind of want to do something that's fairly easy. So again, it was on my knee on a tray. And they're all fairly small areas. And I was playing with colours, and I was putting colours together I wouldn't normally put together. So I'm not sure if it's going to work, but I was just playing with colour. And so I thought I'd finish that off. So I think there's obviously got to be kind of a purpley teal in there. There is a sky colour, but there's a butterfly blue, which is this one. And that's quite gorgeous. But I wanted something a little bit different. This is the green. In the greens as well, there's a peacock, and that's the peacock green. It's called peacock blue, but Viridian is quite a nice one, but I think I want a purple. I've used the cobalt blue here, and I've used, there's a deeper blue which is quite nice. There's a forget-me-not. They go paler though, so I think the sky blue is probably like a turquoise, and I don't normally test, but I like this deep blue. Actually, I think the deep blue is this one, and I think cobalt blue. So I'm just going to pick something down here so I can have a play. We've got some reds, we've got pinks and purples, there's the pale blues. Alice blue is a nice pale blue. Then there's some purple colours, yellows, greens, and then we've got kind of the Viridian, the turquoise, the mountain greens. And then there's some neutral greys, and there's some ochre colours. These are sepia tints for photographs. They were all designed originally to colour photographs, so they're very vibrant. the amethyst looks quite nice. So what I was going to try and do, and you've got to get in position here because I want to go from, I think I want to go from dark to light. So I've got my water brush. I've got a tissue because I need to take the water off really. I don't want it particularly wet, I don't think. But I do want it damp. So I'm actually going to use a clean baby wipe. I think I've changed my mind. I have a damp baby wipe. So I'm going to start here and I'll zoom in because we need to be zoomed in a bit. So you can see what I'm doing because it's going to be quite oh, she's grumbling. Who's grumbly pants? Let's see if we can read the Derwent. Number 1. And I find this brush the best, and it's nearly empty. So I found these pipettes, and I use them for all sorts. I use them for inks, and I think these are the best. You can just kind of fill them up, and you can fill your water pot up. As long as it's clean water, which this is. So I used I filled this up the other day. So I've done 4 colour pages with 1 pot of water, 1 brush of water. So that's not so bad. And I like this because the top goes on the end, because I can never find the tops, and it makes it quite a nice size, and it's balanced when it has that on the end. So it's quite nice to use. So that's filled up. I've got the baby wipe handy because we do need to clean our brush. But there's no real mess now. There's nothing else. We've just got the little squares of colour, and we've got a water brush. Oh, hi Kenny, welcome to Bunny's Designs. Anybody else popping in? So apologies about the, this is a live stream with live peoples, recorded for Ustream.tv and also YouTube for people to watch at their leisure. And on a live stream on a Thursday, it's normally, I'm doing live watercolour, but I've got flu at the moment, so apologies. But I was playing with my little colour book, so there's lots of chatter and lots of interruptions, and it's not normally edited unless something major happens. So if you don't want to listen to me waffle, if you fast forward it, you should be able to follow what I'm doing. So I'm playing in my little book of colours, and I've got my Peerless squares, and they've been in here for a number of years, and I haven't replaced them. When you get them, you get a long strip, and I haven't replaced them. So they've been in here for years, and just recently they've taken probably a bit more. The last 3 days they've taken. I've kind of fallen in love with them again. So I have enough to replace these, but I wouldn't like. I like the bottles as well. They come in a bottle form in a pure liquid, and I think that would be fun. So I've chosen. I think I've chosen amethyst. I think I've chosen amethyst, and again, you do want the tiniest little bit on the end. Yeah, that's it. It's gone now. That's what I'm playing with. And then you're not wasting any. Every scrap of colour goes on your colour page, not in your water pot or in the bin. So I said I was playing with amethyst. And what I want to try and do is get a watercolour effect. Just put a piece of paper in there. It's always difficult seeing the edge. So start here and work out. Now it might not work because I've not done this before. In this, I've done it with the on a photocopy paper, and I've done it. Now I do actually need to put that onto a wet baby wipe, for the simple reason I do need to twist it to a point. And again, show you what I'm doing. Just a touch. These are very vibrant. So if you want a watercolour effect, if you want it all flat colour, then by all means fill your brush. But if you can manipulate that, you can get a really nice effect. Again, just a touch. And you've got to do every one because you're taking it back to nothing. And the beauty of this, they won't all be the same. Because you'll always touch that page just that bit heavier sometimes to others. And you've got to do it in one, you can't mess about. You can't kind of go back on itself. So again, I'm just touching that. I'm barely taking any off. And yet I'm going to have, and this is going to take a long time, so I may not do it all. I'll just show you how I do it. Just a touch. And I say some will be paler and some will be darker, but that's going to give you a really nice effect. And if you're not well, it's a really nice, quiet, simple way to work. And you just go round and round. So I think that colour is going to look quite nice there. It's actually more of an amethyst. So what I'm going to do, because I haven't actually got my sketchbook organised, I'm going to put a touch of this there. As you can see, there's nothing on the brush at all now. So all my colour has gone on my page, but you've gone from very dark, and it's like a watercolour effect, but there's hardly any water. So that's what I really like about this way of working. But what I'm going to do with that, because I'm going to forget, so I'm just going to put, that's amethyst. I'm going to put Peerless, but I know that. And I'm just going to tuck that into there. Now, the others, I know I'm going to finish, but that particular one, it's going to take a while. So I'm going to do that later. But that's going to give me, and really I should finish it so that you can see what it actually looks like. Because it's going to look so much different. So I'm not going to touch the insides until I've finished all of that. But I will finish down the bottom end. And again, I wasn't thinking about colours, so you might think some are a bit off. But as I say, I was poorly on the sofa and I was just having a play. So I think I haven't got any yellows in there, so I think I'm going to put some yellows. And that's how I look. I don't particularly, now even though I've had bright purple on there, it's clean. I can just kind of re-wet it and wet it, drop some water out, squeeze some water out, and you know that's perfectly clean. I like the vibrant yellow. I've got a craving for this brilliant yellow at the moment. It's really bright, and of course that's why you need your colour swatches for these, because you would never guess that these are yellow. I don't know what to do. I think they might be green actually. I did want a big splash of yellow. I think I might do these actually. So, and I do have quite a lot of yellow on there now. And I've missed that green curl. I've missed that one, and I've missed that one off. I think I might do these actually. Now, again, that's just that little bit wetter than I'd like it to be, but it's fine. And I'm not really getting a watercolour effect. But I think I quite like just the fact that it's quite nice and it's an easy way to work. And you can give these, you can buy a set and cut small squares off for children and give them a water brush, and there's no mess. And they are really, really fantastic. You can cut them up and give them to old people in the home for colouring in. No mess, no water to spill. Fantastic for students. And I think I like the yellow splashes, and even though it looks like water. If it's a curl, I think I'm going to do it green. I don't think I've got any more. But I do have some yellow on the end of my brush. So they came in bigger squares, and I cut them down. They come in a box. I'll get them out in a second if I can. Oh, I can't get out. They're in a bit longer than. I think they're about. They're a bit longer and a bit thinner. And there's a little book that tells you all about the history. But they're very inexpensive, and they're really, really nice. So vibrant, so gorgeous colours. And yet, you know, if you use them in a watercolour way, they'll last you for years, especially in colour books. So I just thought I would do these to kind of brighten these up. And the only reason I did that is because I had the yellow on my brush. So again, sometimes you can just go with it. All I'm doing is picking out these little tiny fronds here. And it's just a really nice, easy way to work. So half of them come in a smaller fat square, which I think is double. I think the fat square is double. So some of these were cut in half, and that's the 45 set. And then there's a 15 set that come in a tall, in a long envelope booklet. And then there's another long strip of the sepia colours, which are called the photograph tints, I think. I think they've changed them slightly, and there's some other bright pinks made for another artist, but I just bought the original set. So that's even just doing that's brighten those up. But they are just basically a square of colour. That's what they come. It's a card. It's a card, and you cut it and you put it in your book, or you can leave it as you want. I just put mine in the book, and that was the start of my colour book. That's what started me off. So again, I like the fact I've used all that. I've just got to keep an eye on my wet baby wipe, because if you put that on you're all right with the Hannah Karlzon, because they've got a wooden they've got a hard back. So I've got to think about a colour to go in here now. So I think I'm going to go for a pink. Or I might go, I've got a red there, so I think I want a pink. And I'm obsessed at the moment with geranium pink, but there's a red rose, which is here. No, that was the red that I used there. So I think we could go with, there's an Elysian red, which is good. Geranium pink is gorgeous. But I think I'm going to use geranium pink in here. There's a royal crimson, scarlet red. I think I'm going to use the red rose. Just a touch. And it really is, you know, a touch. Oh, thank you, Kenny. Yeah, they are. They're absolutely fantastic, aren't they? And I said I did this yesterday when I was ill on the sofa. So you do not need a lot of. You do not need an awful lot of get up and go, because I didn't have any yesterday. So they're easy to use and they're very reasonable. They're still about $15, about $13, $15. My set cost me, I think it was something like £23 for the full set. And I think I paid about $20 for £15 for shipping. It's gone up a little bit, but not much. But of course, if you're in the US, it's something like $3 or something, I think. Because they're only thin, it's just like having a fat envelope come through the post. But they are just so amazing. And again, you can see what I'm touching here. So what I do is, if I want vibrant colours, like all the others, I go somewhere else. If I want a duller colour down here, I just go to where I've already used it. But they're really quick, and they're so vibrant that you want the tiniest amount if you want a pale colour. And they do have little bottles as well, which I would love a set of the bottles, but I just cannot afford it, so. Because it's the shipping as well. It's the killer. So I really like that pink. Again, it's a little bit too bright. That just get rid of that one. The colours look slightly better there. Yeah, the colours are slightly better. That's a bright pink. Is that? And that's the peacock butterfly colour. So maybe that light did change it slightly. Yes, it is. That's the bright pink colours. So they are really nice, and they're very easy. You can either cut them down or just put them as they are. And I've still got this colour on the end, so because tight Yorkshire lass, I'm going to go round and put it in the middle of there, because it's a different pink. I think I could possibly put it in these pinks as well. Sometimes it's quite nice to kind of keep the continuity going. So of course the pink dots look quite nice. But it's very, very quick. And again, sometimes when you're not well, you know, to do 3 full, this is a double page, so to do almost 4 pages in a colour book when you're not very well, you know, it's quite good. to remember which one you're in. And you're just stroking that colour. You're really not rubbing. The only time I had to have a bit of a play was when I wanted that watercolour effect for that big space, to get that lovely watercolour effect. But it was very quick. And of course, one kind of dot can do 3 spots, 1 dot of colour, and then you've got a bit of variation if you want. So thanks for stopping by, guys. It's going to be a very quiet, more quiet than normal show, so do have a natter amongst yourselves. And I will try and hold this away from myself so you can see what I'm doing. But it's really easy. And I do like ease if you're not very well, whether it's your hands or you've got flu. But these have been out quite a while now. Like I say, I've had mine a long time. I think I may ask for a Christmas present, but there's always something new coming at Christmas. But I might have to say, I think I did get them for Christmas last time. Most of my art supplies have got to be Christmas or birthday or anniversary or I think I might do those other dots the same as well. I kind of like this colour. It's nice next to that green. There are some really nice colours. I didn't get there's a set of pinks which I didn't get because I'm not really a pink girl. And believe me, there are enough pinks in here that are the most amazing things. You do not need any extra ones. But of course, if you're a pink girl then or a pink boy, then you want your pinks. But I'm in love with geranium pink. It's nearly all gone now on there. And I like Elysian red. And I love this one. It's going to last me such a long time, but I can't read what it's called. And tea rose red. I'm obsessed with tea rose red at the moment. So you've got 6 what I would call orangey reds. They're just going to reds. It's like a cad red, pinky red if you get it up here. And then you've got 6 pinks, 8 pinks. And so you've probably got, and I would think that other one looks pinky red as well, this one. Have a look. When you water it down, it goes to a pink. If you look at it, it's red, but when you water it down, it goes to a pink. So there's already 10 pinks there. There's 4 orangey reds and 2 pinks. And then there's 8 pinks on that one. And 4 purples. So you've got some really nice colours. I almost forgot what colour I used then. So you do have, there's a lot of pinks. But you can always tone them down. I've not mixed these before, that's why I wanted the bottle so that I could mix colours. Because if you put a tiny bit of yellow to your pink or your pinky red, you get some most gorgeous reds and oranges. So there's a lot of scope in these. I just wish I could get the bottles. Really like how it's brightened up that. I'm quite tempted to do the pink dots as well. So we've got purple around the outside. We could have blue and green, another green. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do all the dots. So for one drop, or for one dot of colour, you get 6. You can fill each circle in. So they do tend to go a long way. And that's almost full strength as well, that's not wishy-washy. Because I thought this peacock pattern would want to be quite bright. But I do like the watercolour effect on the tail feathers. So, but you know, you can colour things whatever you wish. The nicest thing is when you're playing with colour, you can just pick your own. Again, you know, if I had my way, I would be working through all of Hannah Karlzon's books. They're all gorgeous. But it's not. There we go. Sorry, there's a bark alert coming because must be the postman. Must be the postman. Yeah, it's the postman. No, 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 shush, 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 grumble boy, grumble boy. We need Suzanne and her big stick. Although he doesn't take any notice of anybody. And he was being so good. We've got a new show, Alfie's World, and he was being such a good boy, and then yesterday he was nothing but a rat bag. Because you're poorly. He must have known. And he was terrible. And I was so pleased that he was getting better behaved, and then because we were poorly in the other room, he left presents in my art studio, which is unforgivable. You can't stay cross with him long because he's so cute. So I really like those colours. So if you've got any questions, pop them in caps. I like the pinks. So I'm not going to do this purple because it will take a long time. So I'm going to have a bit of a play down here now. Sorry about the moving. Just wanted to continue those dots around, which I quite liked. And we've actually got a dot here as well, look, in the centre. And I must have missed a dot somewhere earlier. Just get rid of this colour. Can't waste it. And it does seem to go on forever and ever. There's a lot of colour in here, so didn't waste too much. I can live with that. Squeeze the water out so it drops clean, and then you know your brush is clean. So I'm going to pop here. Is that better? Oh, thank you. So if you've got any questions, pop them in caps. And again, I just look about now. I know I've missed a green there, so I'm going to go back for this green. I didn't write it down, but I think it's this one. I think it's this one. And this curl here. So what I do is I go down one curl, and then when I come back up, it's paler. And that's giving me a two-tone effect without any effort. And again, quite like that. So on the outside first, and again it's that watercolour effect. By the time I've got back round, it's got pale. So that's always nice to do. Oh, I've got one there, look, as well. So move up. So start dark. And it would go darker than that, but I just like the fact it's just slightly different. So thanks for joining me, guys, on this. Again, it's a miserable day. It's a miserable day. In the UK, we don't normally get more than 2 or 3 days sunshine. And I think that should have been yellow, but never mind. So we've got to think about the centres. So sometimes it's a good idea to look back. And if I have a look at this one, I can look back at my butterfly and think what went well. So I've got a pale green and a blue, and I've got orange and red there, and I quite like that. Well, I feel guilty I'm not doing my oil painting, but I really couldn't do that. I did rest yesterday, but yeah, I suppose I should be. So I have a look at things that you don't like and things that you do. So the red and yellow, I can't hold that up, sorry. Red and yellow looks nice. The yellow and the green looks nice as well. So I kind of like the red yellow outline. I think I like the yellow outline of where the green is. So sometimes it's always nice to kind of look back a little bit to see what you're doing. So, and it is actually a wing. So if I put a colour behind that, it's going to really darken it. But I think I want to do that. I am going to have a look at the bird. I think there's one at this side as well. Here, I did this one. This was the other day. So that blue is gorgeous. And we've got that green. I think that's the green I've just used, the Viridian. But we've got a peacock green. They're going to be very similar. So what about a blue? Yes, I think I'm going to use that blue. Now that blue, I think, was a again, this is why I really need to write things down. I think that's the cobalt blue, but I think that's going to look quite nice. That's the butterfly. They're very similar. Again, I'm just going to have a bit of a test because I can't remember. Yeah, they're all very similar if you put them next to. I know that that's butterfly wing. Now the forget-me-not is a beautiful blue, but again very similar. Oops, sorry. So I think I'm going to use. There's an Alice blue. That's quite nice. And there's a cobalt blue. I think Alice blue is quite nice. I think we'll do Alice blue, and that will really darken that wing up. Beauty is I don't need to change anything. What I am going to do though is just, I've got a touch of colour on there, and I'm kind of starting in a dark area. It's a she. I don't know where I put the brush now. I'll find it in a minute. Tiny bit of colour. And then kind of start and manipulate it out a bit so it's pale. And then I can get another piece and start somewhere else. And it's a little bit wet, but it's not so bad. And then that's going to just fall into there. And by the time they meet up, you've got the same consistency. So you don't have a line. Whereas if I'd have started there and then started there again, that dark would have been next to that light. Now, and again, I wouldn't have known that if I hadn't done a photocopy practice all those years ago when I first started, months ago. So again, take that out to barely nothing. And this water brush is releasing water, but not much. And by the time that's got right round there, it's the same. Sorry, that could be a bar Colette, but I think that's my daughter and my husband. So. Apologies. Oh, I'm just going to show it to my dog. So you can hardly see that. Now it is a bit wetter than I normally work, but when I turn that over, there's nothing on the other side at all. So I'm quite a happy girl. So bear with me just 2 seconds. Sorry about that. Just putting my order in. So it's very pale blue. If I'll turn the lights out and it might just show up. But I quite like the fact it's kind of pale. They are pinky. Could you please shut the door, darling? Thank you. So, Alice Blue we were using. And again, it's not too strenuous. It's a background, and normally I really don't like backgrounds. Actually, tell a lie, it's not a background, but it feels like a background. It's actually the wing. And normally you've got to have, kind of a lot of water, and I don't like doing them with a wet brush because pages normally don't like them. Now, there will be a tiny bit of movement with this particular one, but not very much, as long as I don't go over it again. So you put the colour in and then manoeuvre it around. And I found with the water brushes, if you don't bend the brush too much, it slows the release of water down. So the least you can bend all those bristles, the least it activates the water, so it stays just dry enough to manipulate without sending any more water out. So thanks for stopping by, guys. Hope everybody's okay. I'll keep my flu to myself. And again, it's not tedious if you're not well, or if you don't want to do anything too bright. You just want to kind of manipulate with a little bit of effort. I'm going to start in this bottom corner. So and then that's going to just finish off that wing, but it's going to make all those colours. If you don't know what colours to do, it's going to show all those colours up, so you can decide what you like, what colours are missing. And you're doing it in small stages, so you don't have to think about a big wet brush. And it's quite well behaved, so it will actually move about a bit. But remember, it's a piece of paper. It doesn't really like too much. But it will just manoeuvre around a fair bit. So it makes it quite nice for a colour book. Now, of course, there's no reason why you can't have a very dark background if you want one. I'm trying to think, I think I might make that. That does look like it's inside. I think I might do that blue. No, I've already got blue, so I can't do that. Never mind. Put that there. And this would be quite nice to do. And if you're on an edge, it's always a good idea to put a piece of paper behind. You protect the one behind, and you can also see what you're doing. So thanks for stopping by, everybody. Hope everybody's having a pleasant day and not having miserable weather like we're having here again. But we're quite used to it. But we can't really complain because we don't have hurricanes, and we don't normally have many floods. So we've got very boring weather, but it's nothing to worry about. So not normally. So we can't always have everything. Having said that, a little bit of sunshine would be nice. So I hadn't realised all these little spaces, but again, it's just working your way around, going steady, trying not to manoeuvre that brush too much because we don't want too much water to come out. And when it starts to get a bit flooded, you just kind of clean that. And then that was a bit wet, that, but this, the Hannah Karlzon paper can take that, and the Bennett, but some other pages can't, so you just got to be a bit careful. But there seems to be quite a nice effect on that wing now. I've missed a bit there with the green, so I'm just going to go back and get that, although I think there's probably other bits I've missed as well. So that's green, that's blue, and I didn't think I wanted to kind of such a vivid blue, because I don't want to really take it away from the feathers. It's always the peacock feathers that are the brightest. So it doesn't take long. You think at first, oh, there's all these little fiddly places, but again, it's a nice quiet way to do. You haven't got big spaces to do. You're doing a background, but it doesn't feel like a background because you don't have a lot of big wet space. And it's very good for paintbrush practice as well. Oh my goodness. Just bear with me 2 seconds. Right, sorry about that, guys. Hubby's home from the hospital, so to see the specialist after his stroke, so we just had to ask how it went. Oh dear me. So still plodding along. I'm going to finish this wing, but I'm not going to do all those other peacock feathers because I won't be here a while. Has anybody got any questions? And you know, you've just got to accept it's a book, it's a colour page, and you've got a kink in the middle there, and you really don't need to any more thought than that. You know, did I make it okay? Yeah, I got through the page, that's fine. If you start stressing about, oh, it's finding my page and it's, oh, and I don't like it, you know, it's a book, it's a colour book. It's, you know, it's not a Van Gogh. It's not. It is what it is. We're doing it because we're enjoying our pages. We're doing it to de-stress. We're doing it because we're poorly. We can't do anything else. And we don't want the added stress of messing about with, oh, I don't like it because I've got a double page spread or I've got a kink in the middle. You know, how on earth could you do this beautiful big peacock if it wasn't on a double page spread? So it's, you know, it's a colour page in a colour book, and we're de-stressing, doing art for therapy, for art, for stress, for whatever reason. And we really need to kind of put it back in perspective that that's what we're doing. So I'm going to squeeze some water out, make sure that brush comes back to clean. Now it may not, because that blue is pretty strong, but it should do. Yeah, it's gone. And it is taking quite a batting, is this one. So I missed the green, and I think I said I used Viridian green. And where was it? There. I don't think I've missed any more. I don't think I want to do any more green on there. I think I've got enough green. So I'm going to have a nose to see what I haven't used for a bit. There's no purple, bright purple down there. There's going to be a lot of purple on that side. So we'll have a look at the reds. I'm going to use the tea rose. Really like the tea rose colour. So again, I think I've got too much on here, so I'm going to pick the biggest stretch I can get to see if I can get a watercolour effect. So I got 3 out of there. So if you want a watercolour effect, go into the bit that I've used the most. Or do a darker, lighter, and see if that works for you. There's always a way to variegate it, even though you cannot get that watercolour effect. And to alternate, miss out a petal and go to the next one. Always lightens the next one up. So I really like that. So thanks for stopping by. If anybody's got any questions, pop them in caps and then I'll take notice. Although today's a funny day because being a bit fluey, the brain's on less function ability than it normally is. So thanks for stopping by. I don't know what the weather's doing right at your end. But it's our normal miserable summer here. If my mum was alive, she'd probably say, "Oh, it's because you've too many rockets going up." Or aeroplanes, as it is now. Lots of aeroplanes going up. Upsetting the skies. I really like that. Very, very different, very unusual. But again, it's a different way of working. It's quiet, it's peaceful. You don't need a water pot. You don't need to mix colours. If you're not well, it's really, really nice. Or if you're in the sunshine, if you're on holiday, even in hospital, you can whip this out, have a play, and then bob it back when nobody's looking. I might not like the colours when I've finished with them. I've not played with these colours really before like this. There's an orange chrome. I haven't had an orange, so I think I'm going to put orange in here. But this is the time to play with colours. This is the time to find out what you like and what you don't like. And there will be bits that I don't like. It's like, I love the pink, but I don't think the pink's in the right place. Thank you, darling. So,
you just pass me a cup.
Sorry, darling. Yeah.
Not for tea as well.
Oh yes, please, darling, if you don't mind, you can put it on there. It's fine. You can put it on there. It's fine. Yes, thank you, darling. Not that I can taste anything, but thank you. Tea boy's back. I think I like that as well. Again, putting orange next to purple. So we've got a purple. I'm going to keep going back to these pinks. The geranium pink is quite awesome, but I think I'm going to try this purple. I haven't tried this purple. I think I'm going to do a purple stripe. And some of these purples are actually quite subdued. They're not in your face. But then we've got the deep blue one, which is kind of definitely in your face. So let me just do that one. And that one. This one's called Deep, I think. Wondering what that flashing. Oh, what's flashing? Where's my light? What was I doing? That. So I'll do a bit more to this and then I'm going to start that dragon because I can't wait to sit at the dragon. Hi Claudia, welcome to Bonnie's Designs. Anybody else popping in? Apologies if you expected water and oil paint. But I've still got the flu, so I really just couldn't face. I just could not face do that yellow. I couldn't face the prospect of doing that, so I did this yesterday and it wasn't so bad, so I thought I would because these were so nice and I'd forgotten how nice they were, I'd start playing with the Peerless and the Peerless watercolours. And these colours were a bit of a mishmash, but I think it might be just about coming together now. But I've missed that purple out on there. This stripe. It's quite a quick way to work, and I quite like it actually, I have to say. And again, I'd really forgotten how nice it is to work. Like this. It's just really pleasant. So I think I might have. I do like my geranium pink. I love my geranium pink. So I think. And because my geranium pink is nearly depleted, what I might do tomorrow is I might do I might start putting some more colours in. So I'm going to put my Neocolor 2s. I think I'm going to put my Neocolor 2s into my little book and label them and put them in properly like I normally do. And I'm going to revamp the Peerless because this pink's depleted now and it's my favourite, is geranium pink. And I'm not normally a pink girl, but it is my favourite pink. So I had a purple dots, and I might continue those purple dots. And I don't know what I'm going to do on the edges of that one or the edge of that. I might leave them white, I think. And again, I found a couple of green areas that I've missed. That's green. This is green. And that one's green. This one's green. Oh yes, I will do. Yes, I will do. I do try to record, but I will put that in. Yep. Nearly finished this. Just maybe put the purple. I think it was the amethyst. I think the amethyst was the dots, so there's a bit of continuity. I mean, I may even get round to it today. The problem with today is it's a long show, and oh, mind you, hubby can pass me them now. I could ask him, couldn't I? Yep, I might ask him in a second. He's just getting something to eat, and I'll ask him if he'll pass me the Peerless across. And then I can show you what they actually look like, and I can tell you more about them, because that might be better. Just bear with me 2 seconds. Nigel?
Yeah?
Could you pass me that thing, please, darling?
Sorry, what did you want?
If you look in one of those drawers, the brown drawers, I want the Peerless. You see the packets of Peerless watercolour.
In where?
The brown drawers behind there. Thank you, darling. So I can actually show you what they look like when they arrive, so that'd be quite good. And this says red on it, but it isn't red. It says red, but it isn't. But I'm going to do this, I think. Have you found them?
Those?
No. It's a packet. It's a packet, darling. There's a packet with little cards.
What? I don't know. Peerless bonus pack.
Yep, it should be about 3 or 4. Then there's one that's like a little book. And then there's some that looks like brown, and it says photography ones. They might be in the same place. And then there's another one. Oh, is that all I've got left? There's one that looks like a book. An orange book, and it says Peerless on it. It should be in the same place.
No. Definitely not in the same place.
It might not be in the same place, but it says it's a dark orange book. It's like a brown envelope. It's an orange envelope. It's actually a little book. But it's the size of an envelope, a long envelope.
It's not here.
Is it not?
No.
Okay, thanks for looking, darling. It's got the history in them, that's all. I don't know what they are. Never mind. Thank you, darling, for looking. They're not in the other side either. So I've left 1 or 2 little bits. I've not decided what to do. Just see how long I've been. I've been about just over an hour, so I'll pan out and I'll show you about these. But you can see the colours. Oh, thank you, darling. Thank you. So I started the purple, so I'm going to go around the purple, but I'm going to do it like in a watercolour effect. So that's quite a dark red, but actually it's okay. It's fine. I can live with that. It's a bright peacock. There's some bright colours. You can always go over it with blue if I'm not happy. Then there's the purples. And then there's all the peacocks. And so really quickly that took, not so long. Strange. Oh, so that's the one I did yesterday when I was poorly. And again, absolutely love those watercolour effects. Oh, it's a little bit blurred. Love the watercolour effects. And just playing with colour. And then the last one I did was this one. And again, I'd finished this one the other day, and I love the dragonfly colours. So I decided, and the watercolour effects, and it is actually a pink, is that? But it's not coming out as pink. So I really like the fact that yellow ochre, and then I've got the really vivid colours that I don't normally put together. And so that's kind of inspired the peacock page. So I really enjoyed doing that, and it's fairly quick, and it's just easy to do, and just a damp baby wipe and a water brush. I must admit I do like this number 1 because it gives out the least amount of colour of water, so you've got a lot more control. So that's the Peerless, which actually look like this when they arrive. So you can see how much I've got left. Look, I've cut a square. These are in my book, so I can actually, and it's just a square, and they're named. They are stuck in, and I just quite roughly cut a section off and stuck it in the book. But you'd never guess from the colours actually what they are, but they are the most amazing things on the planet. This one is the photo colouring tinting one in the browns, and then this is the bonus pack, which because I've given some away, I've just got little squares left now. But really like those. In fact, I've just realised if I could get some more of those, I could put those in that thing as well, couldn't I? That would be good. Yes, that would be good. But fantastic. There's 15 colours in there, and I think there's 44 in there. I think 35 in there, so I think there's about 40-50 colours altogether. So thank you for watching.